Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's Vanilla Bop, and this is going to be an interesting video. I'm going to talk about communism. So everybody likes to talk about smack about communism and how communism will never work, and communism just will never work, and communism failed. Just look at North Korea, look at China, look at Russia. They all failed. Communism failed. And I always thought that communism just does not work. But I got a little bit curious and I decided to try it for myself. Can communism work? And I've learned some interesting things after doing this experiment. But so I think what this taught me is that from this experiment is that you can really make anything work if you try. Like, as long as you have some fairly intelligent people in charge, or not even in charge, as long as you have like just fairly intelligent people running the show, or I don't want to say running the show, but that would be the easiest way to explain it. As long as you have some fairly smart people running the show, you could really make anything work. And but yeah, I tested communism, and somehow I made communism work. And I tested communism in a virtual environment in a video game called Civilization Revolution, and it's a video game. It's a video game, but video games are artificial constructs, kind of like how like capitalism or communism or socialism. These are all artificial constructs, like created by humans. So you could say that they're kind of in the same ballpark. You know, these are all made up systems created by humans. So if we're going to say that there's legitimacy in capitalism, or if we're going to say there's legitimacy in the United States is an artificial construct created by humans. All right, it's a country. It's an ideology created by humans, all right? You guys understand my point, right? If we're going to believe as much as we do, if we think the United States is legitimate, if we think capitalism is legitimate, then we should think that video games also have the potential to have some sort of legitimacy to them, just as much as other artificial constructs that we create, like borders and countries and governments, and so. But basically, what is communism? We all hear communism is bad, but what exactly is communism? And to keep it simple is, like, from what I understand, communism is basically any kind of property is basically owned by the people for the people. I think that's what it is, but really, what it is basically everything is just basically owned by the government, and the government runs the entire show, and everything is owned by the government and ran by the government. So if we want to be on technical terms, it's like property it's basically any kind of property that can create what do you call it? Create goods. Any kind of property that can create goods is owned by the public, for the public. All right. So yeah, anything that can create anything is owned by the people, the public. So, but yeah, there is no such. I don't really think there's really such a concept as private property. I don't think private property exists in communism. Everything is owned for the people. So for the public. All right. So civilization revolution. What is like civilization revolution? Civilization revolution is such an amazing game, and I'm gonna have to like make a top 10 video games of all time that includes civilization revolution. But like you can learn a lot from civilization revolution. You can learn how humans behave, and you can basically learn like basic concepts of like how countries operate and why countries do the things that they do, such as like war or war or corruption or fighting. Or you can learn a lot from like human behavior, like how people will just kind of like do things behind. They will like go to war with people or fight with other people or threaten other people. It really teaches you a lot, like how humans operate, like so they can get what they want. And you can learn a lot from history. Like there's literally like a whole encyclopedia on civilization revolution that teaches about history of the human race. But basically, civilization revolution, you start your country from the ground up. You start from the Stone Age, and then you take them to the space age. And whoever basically can put man on the moon first wins. But not even man on the moon, man on an entirely different planet, colonize an entirely different planet. Whoever does it first wins. But there's other ways that you can win too. Whoever has the most money wins. Whoever has the most culture wins. Hey, what are you doing? If you can build the United Nations, you win. What else? Or if you can just take over the world and just basically, you want to go like freaking Hitler style and just take over the entire world and just wage like World War III on everybody. You can wage World War III on everybody and just take over the entire world and just take over, destroy all of the countries and go to war with all the countries and blow everything up and take over the entire world. You can basically just do whatever you want. You can be the most richest person, the richest country, the most powerful country, the most technologically advanced country, or the most cultural, the most, what do you call it, posh country, the most cultured, civilized country. All right, multiple ways to win. Dogs are a headache. All right, but okay. So I tested communism out. And what was I able to accomplish? What the hell? How do I get this? No, how do I get? Okay, I tested communism. What was I able to accomplish? So I basically made a communist country, and I'll go ahead and show you some clips. I made communist. Now basically, when you make a communist country, city production increases by 50%. However, temples and cathedrals no longer make culture. So basically, production is basically like you can build things really fast. You can build libraries, universities. You can build like what you see right there. You can build the pyramid. You can build the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, or you can build the Library of Alexandria. You can build the William Shakespeare Theater. You can build everything just so much more faster. Like your speed is like doubled, pretty much, or half double or something. You build things a lot faster under communism. Production just goes up significantly. Yeah, I'm building the great, but you can see my city right now. That's a pretty city. And like to build a city like that is not easy, all right? Like it's not, well, to build something like that requires a little bit of effort. You don't just have a city that looks like that, okay? It has to require some effort. You can see William Shakespeare Theater, East India Company, the Colossus of Rhodes. I built libraries. courthouses, libraries for science. I mean, but you can see, this is the crazy thing. Look how far ahead am I compared to the other countries. You got Russia, Germany, Mongolia, the United States. The United States is in last place for some reason. I don't know why. But look how far ahead I am. I'm like double the amount of ahead. Technology, I'm double the amount ahead. Economy. I'm the only one that's showing up the economy. The other countries don't even show up. They're broke. Cultural. My country has the most culture. It's the most ahead. Domination. I did not kill anybody, or I did not destroy anybody. So we're tied. We're all tied. You have to take over their capital to win that. But as you can see, my country is winning in all categories. Like, and it's communism. Like, what? How is communism winning? How is communism ahead? Communism should be behind. Is there like no better way to... Okay. And then just showing all these video clips. Oh yeah. Look at Germany. Look, see, you look at what communism created. Look at my city, communism, a communist city, a communist country, a beautiful city, and then look at Germany. Nothing. There's nothing. They have nothing. There's nothing there. They have nothing. It's like literally, there's like literally some teepee huts. There's like a couple of teepee huts and some dirt, some teepee huts and some dirt, and that like, and some kind of like random whatever building they call that they would call a palace. You know, some couple of teepee huts and like some house over here. Some supposed to be a castle, but yeah, there's nothing here. They have nothing. And that's like, I don't know what they are. They're like Republican or something, or Democratic, or fundamentalism or something. Oh, this is 950 AD. So by the time we're at 950 AD, look at all the stuff that's been built by that point. When you build something, it takes time, and it takes a lot of time. But because of communism, you produce everything so much faster. So I was able to produce all of this before the year 1000. It's all production. I focused everything on production to build everything as fast as possible. I think that's it. I wish there was like a way. Oh, mini player. There we go. Mini player. Okay. And then I'll show my last clip. Oh, yeah. Communism. All right. Communism sucks so bad, right? Communism is so bad. But if communism is so bad, how do you explain this? Communism in this scenario, communism was able to create the internet wonder in the city of Madrid. Economy will double in size. My communist country created the internet. In the year 1275. We are literally in the Middle Ages, okay? People are still literally shitting in like dirt holes in the ground around this time, all right? People are still flinging dung out their windows at this time. This is the Middle Ages. Like, this is when we had the bubonic plague and people did not understand basic concepts like germs, all right? And everybody was dying, all right? Like, this was the Middle Ages around this time, a very crappy time. And during this time, my country was creating a revolution and making great, amazing discoveries and building the freaking internet while the rest of the world was going to hell in a handbasket, my communist country built the freaking internet. So, yeah. I think that's it. So, yeah. So, basically, I ended the game right here. I was like, I basically did what I needed to accomplish. All right. My country was the most advanced country in the entire world, and it was communism. And communism was able to create the internet and create so much prosperity. Look how beautiful this city is. Look how much culture there is. There's like so much culture, and my country is producing lots of science, and I believe a lot of workshops, and then we have a lot of food, plenty of food. We get whale from the ocean, lots of whale from the ocean, plenty of food. So yeah, this is a great, wonderful city, and communism accomplished a lot. And so basically, if communism did so well here, then why did communism fail, like in the real world? In the real world, why did communism fail? Communism. So basically, from what I learned from this, is you really can make any system work. All right, as long as you have like a somewhat competent person in charge, like a somewhat intelligent person in charge, you can really make any system work, even like supposedly the worst system. And somehow I managed to make communism work. And communism has a huge advantage in this game. You produce at a much faster rate. Now, why did communism fail? Why did countries like Russia, North Korea, China fail? And like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know why communism failed. Well, it could be usually communism is like a lot of these communist countries were ran by a bunch of fucking idiots. Mao Zedong's a fucking idiot. Like he almost what? He killed, like, he's responsible for the like millions of innocent people's deaths in the Great Leap Forward. Mao Zedong's an idiot. Kim Jong-un, that guy he's an idiot too. Well, he's a fat idiot. Like his country is going to hell in a handbasket, and he's too busy stuffing his fat butt, while the rest of his country, the rest of his people are starving to death. And even in Russia too, wasn't in Russia, like Russia, they could not even like produce, there was like not even enough bread or something. Well, didn't it get to a point where people had to wait like for hours just to get bread? So like communism failed because communism was basically ran by a bunch of idiots, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't know how to fix problems. And the whole point of communism is to increase productivity, because everything is ran and operated by the public. So there's not supposed to be any hoarding happening, because all of the stuff belongs to the people. So not one single person can hoard everything. So you would think, because everything is owned by the people, like they can use all of that stuff to create a lot of stuff. The public own a lot of stuff. You would think they could create a lot of stuff. Production, in significantly increased production. But for some reason, like, even though they had access to everything, to produce everything, they produced nothing. So I don't know what happened. So communism failed because they failed to do what they were supposed to do, which was produce a lot of stuff, because they have everything. So I don't know. Like, How is it that they have access to everything, but they produce nothing? They can't even make bread. I don't know what happened. So, but in researching communism, I learned that communism has a lot of similarities to the Venus Project. The Venus Project, okay, so communism. Communism is everything that belongs to everyone, and basically that's what the Venus Project is, like, to declare Earth the common heritage of all the world's people. So basically saying the world belongs to everyone, which kind of sounds similar to communism. But the thing is, though, so the good thing, so people are like, okay, so capitalism is the way to go, because capitalism actually gives the power to people. It, like, the companies that are doing bad go out of business, and, like, the companies are doing good make a lot of money, and the people that are hard workers, they become successful, and they end up becoming rich and wealthy from working hard, and making companies that, and innovating and creating new companies that, like, innovate and revolutionize the entire world. Like, you would think capitalism would be good, but capitalism has its own issues, because look what's happening right now. Yes, so instead of the power going to a bunch of, like, fat idiots, like Kim Jong-un or Mao Zedong or something, now the power is going to a bunch of basically sociopathic, greedy, money-hungry psychopaths that make life miserable for everyone. So it's like, I don't know if capitalism is that much better, because capitalism, instead of the power going to crazy, like, dictators, crazy communist dictators, the power is going to crazy, psychopathic, money-hungry billionaires instead. So so it's like the power is still going to fucked up people in capitalism. And now that's why you have the world you have today. In the United States, you have a lot of people living on the streets. People don't have enough money to afford food, or to pay off their bills, or their house, the electricity bill, water bill. And, like, you kind of have, like, this dystopia situation where everybody's, like, struggling right now. So, and then you got these, like, rich, money-hungry, sociopathic, like, psychopathic, like, multi-billionaires at the top hoarding all the money, while the rest of the world goes to hell in a handbasket. So capitalism, I don't know if it's that much better. So it like, the power is still going to fucked up people. So what I was gonna say is, I think what I learned from playing this game is that I don't think it really matters how much money you make. Like, it doesn't really matter how much money you make. I think at the end of the day is, can you produce stuff? Okay, you can have all the money in the world, but, like, what good is that money if you can't even go to the supermarket and get a loaf of bread? So what good is all that money if you can't even get the stuff that you need to get? And at the end of the day, you can, like, have all the money in the world, man, but what does it even matter if you can't even get bread? So at the end of the day, I think the most important thing to any society is production. Can you produce it? Can you make it? And I think that's what makes the Venus Project so great and amazing, because the Venus Project is basically a society where everything is free. People don't have to work. Food is free. Housing is free. Shelter is free. Electricity is free. Energy is free. Food is free. Water is free. Life is free without a price tag. That's to keep it simple in a nutshell, the Venus Project. And people are free to live life as they wish. And how is the Venus Project able to accomplish this? Okay, well, The Venus Project tries to get rid of like the one thing that might be ruining everything. People. You put people in charge and people fuck everything up. All right. You got the people running capitalism. Look at this horrible dystopia that they created where everybody's broke and barely able to survive. All right. You put humans in charge. They find a way to fuck everything up. All right. You give the power to fat fucks like Kim Jong-un or Mao Zedong. They stuff their faces while everybody else in their country starves to death or gets murdered. All right. And like you give the power to the greedy capitalists. They just hoard all the money while everybody else starves again. So either way, you're going to starve. Whether it's capitalism or communism, you're going to starve because the power goes to like greedy, like psychopaths or sociopaths that just hoard everything and they're selfish and they don't, to hell with everyone else. So the Venus Project takes people out of the equation. People are not in charge anymore. Okay, there's no people in charge. It's just computers running the system. Computers running the system, operating the system. You know, oh, the vegetables, the crops need to be watered. The vegetables need to be watered. The fruits need to be watered. Water the crops. All right, the machine turns on and waters the crops. Okay, you know, stuff like that. You got robots cooking the food. You don't have humans cooking the food anymore. Now it's robots cooking our food. Okay? So like stuff like that. And nobody's in charge. Like the computers are doing everything. Building the computers, the robots are building our houses. Okay? You tell the robot what you want, what kind of a house you want, and you enter it on a computer, and then the robot takes that information and builds your house with it. Okay? Just take humans out of the equation. Humans are not capable of running a system because humans, they get greedy, they get corrupt, selfish, they go psycho or crazy, and then they go off and kill like half the population of their country. Okay? They go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And they just end up killing everybody. So just like don't take people out of the equation. And robots are building, but how are you able to make everything free? How are you able to make everything free for everyone? Well, because what Jacques Fresco was talking about, we have to reach such a high level of production. We have to produce so much that things are practically free. Stuff is practically free. You have to just reach such a high level of productivity that it might as well be free. Okay? And that's what I learned from this game. What is the key to succeeding in this game and to build like a super prosperous country with super prosperous people, a country with lots of culture and science and progress, you know, and innovation? You got to have a high level of production. If you're producing so much, if you have such a high level of productivity, you can produce things like the Colossus of Rhodes, the Library of Alexandria. You can build the William Shakespeare Theater, the East India Company Wonder, the Market of Troy, the Internet. You can build everything effortlessly because your level of productivity is so high that it's effortless to produce innovation and creation and technology and science. You produce so high, it's effortless. And if you're able to produce so much food, you can produce so much food and so much housing and so many buildings. You can just produce so much effortlessly. You have so much food, so many houses, so many buildings, so much internet, so many libraries, so much universities, colleges. You create and produce so much. You have an overabundance of prosperity and success and innovation and creativity. There's so much innovation and creativity and technology and food and prosperity and housing and energy to go around for everyone that you're going to have an overabundance of everything, which is science, innovation, creation, creativity, everything. And that's how the Venus Project succeeds. We don't worry about stupid things like money, or the human ego getting in the way. All right. The goal of the Venus Project is to produce so much abundance with our technology, with robots and machinery, produce so much that we can create a heaven on earth. Because we just have so much of everything. Everything is so abundant. All the fruits that you can eat, all the apples and the bananas and the spinach, or all the food, all the bread, all the wine, all the water, producing so much of everything. You have access to all these libraries, all these centers for culture and in science. There's no you're gonna have like so many Albert Einsteins. There's gonna be so many Albert Einsteins. You're gonna have so many Albert Einsteins in the Venus Project because people have so much access to awesomeness. All right, everybody's gonna have access to all this abundance, and you're gonna have the Venus Project. There's gonna be so many Albert Einsteins, man, so many Beethovens, or so many Teslas, Nikola Teslas. Everybody will reach the full potential in the Venus Project, and we won't be limited by scarcity. We will produce so much, there will be no scarcity. There will be plenty for everyone. That's what I learned from this. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and have a good one. Support the Venus Project. Support it. Subscribe to their channel. Talk about it to people in your city. The Venus Project is the way to go. We need to let go of these outdated systems like capitalism or even communism. We need to let go of all these outdated systems. We need to embrace the Venus Project. People are going to tell me, isn't communism the Venus Project? They have some similarities. Capitalism has some similarities to the Venus Project, but the Venus Project is none of these. The Venus Project is its own thing, and the Venus Project is going to create a revolution for centuries, millennia, years to come. We got to let go of these outdated systems. They're holding us back. Support the Venus Project. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good one. Bye.